The warehouse echoes with my footsteps as I walk the perimeter, my heels clicking against bare concrete. Most brides wouldn't pick an abandoned industrial space for their wedding, but most brides aren't running a crypto mining operation in the basement. The acoustics are actually perfect, Lindsay says, her event planner's clipboard tucked against her chest. Once we hang the fabric panels and string lights, no one will recognize this place. I inhale deeply, savoring the metallic chill that fills my lungs. Behind the musty air, there's that familiar ozone tang floating up from below, the smell of money being made, of freedom being bought one Bitcoin at a time. The generator noise? I ask, though I already know the answer. Completely masked by the new insulation. Your father's going to eat his words about this being a dump for derelicts. She makes air quotes with perfectly manicured fingers. I smile, remembering Dad's face when I first mentioned the warehouse. The way his lips had curled, how Wayne had snickered behind his hand. Poor little Paige, playing at being independent. The porcelain doll who needs Daddy's approval for everything. Speaking of your father, Lindsay continues, the rental agreement needs his signature as guarantor. Should I send it to his office? No. I keep my voice light. I'll handle it personally. 3 hours later, I'm sitting in the familiar leather chair across from Dad's massive oak desk. The wood paneling seems to absorb all warmth from the room, leaving only the sharp scent of furniture polish and old money. Absolutely not. Dad doesn't even look up from his papers. The company needs that capital injection now. Your wedding can wait. The deposits are paid, I say. The venue is a worthless warehouse. Wayne leans against the door frame, arms crossed. Besides, what's Leon going to say when he finds out his future father-in-law is broke? We're not broke. Dad's pen scratches furiously. We're restructuring. The Malaysian deal fell through, and we need every penny to keep the production lines running. I watch them, these men who think they know everything about me, who see only what they expect to see. The compliant daughter, the decorative sister. They don't know about the servers humming beneath that worthless warehouse floor, about the offshore accounts swelling with untraceable cryptocurrency, about the careful plans I've laid while playing the role they wrote for me. So you're canceling my wedding? I keep my voice steady, letting just enough hurt seep through. Just like that? Don't be dramatic, sweetheart. Dad finally looks up, his face softening into that patronizing smile I've known all my life. We'll reschedule once the business stabilizes. Maybe somewhere more appropriate. The country club has lovely packages, Wayne adds, much more our style than some grimy warehouse. I stand slowly, smoothing my skirt. I see. That's my girl. Dad's already looking back at his papers. I knew you'd understand. Family comes first, after all. Yes, I say softly. It does. Walking out, I hear Wayne's voice behind me. She took that better than expected. Of course I did. They taught me well. How to smile, how to bend, how to play the perfect daughter. They never wondered what else I might have learned along the way. My phone buzzes as I reach my car. It's Celeste. Servers just hit peak efficiency. We're making serious bank down here. I text back a single word. Good. The autumn wind whips my hair as I stand in the parking lot, staring up at the gleaming corporate headquarters my great-grandfather built. 3 generations of men who thought they knew best, who never bothered to look past the surface of their porcelain doll. I start my car, the engine purring to life. Let them think they've won this round. Let them believe I'm still that compliant little girl who needs their protection, their guidance, their control. They'll learn soon enough. Porcelain isn't always fragile. Sometimes it's just a mask, hiding something much harder underneath. The security keypad chirps softly as I enter the code, its green light casting a sickly glow across my hands. 3 flights down, past the old freight elevator shaft, the temperature drops and the air grows thick with artificial warmth. The server's hum wraps around me like a living thing, my own private orchestra playing $1 million symphony. I trail my fingers along the racks as I walk, feeling the vibrations pulse through my bones. Each machine represents another crack in my father's empire, another piece of my freedom bought in binary code. The LED displays blink like stars in the dim light, green and red constellations marking the path to revenge. Thought I'd find you down here. Celeste's voice carries over the mechanical drone. She appears between the server banks, a paper coffee cup in each hand. The sharp scent of her cinnamon gum cuts through the metallic air. Couldn't sleep? Who needs sleep when you're making money? I accept the coffee, letting its warmth seep into my palms. How are the numbers looking? See for yourself. She leads me to our makeshift command center, a folding table tucked between two humming server banks, 3 monitors casting blue light across our faces. We're up another 12% since this morning. I slide into the chair, fingers flying across the keyboard. Graphs and figures flood the screen, each one a quiet victory. Dad's probably still at the office, trying to figure out how to keep the production lines running another month, while his rejected wedding venue makes more in a day than his factory does in a week. Celeste perches on the table's edge, blowing a pink bubble that snaps sharply. Poetic justice is my favorite kind. The dashboard updates, and I feel that familiar surge of satisfaction. Each cryptocurrency transaction represents another nail in the coffin of their assumptions about me. I remember the day I first touched the family business's cash counter. 14 years old and fascinated by the machine's steady rhythm. Dad had laughed, patted my head, told me not to worry my pretty little mind about such things. Have you told Leon yet? Celeste's question pulls me back to the present. About the wedding, I mean. Tomorrow. I keep my eyes on the screen. He'll understand. He always does. And about all this? She waves her hand at our underground empire of servers and secrets. One revelation at a time. The coffee burns my tongue, bitter and grounding. Besides, the less he knows, the better. Plausible deniability. Celeste's gum snaps again. You really think your dad and Wayne will try something shady? I think they're desperate. I pull up another screen, this one showing the steady decline of the family company's stock price. Desperate men make dangerous choices. Good thing we're prepared for dangerous. She taps one of the monitors, where a security feed shows the empty warehouse above. Speaking of which, the new cooling system arrives tomorrow. I've got our usual crew ready to install it, all paid in crypto, all properly motivated to keep quiet. I nod, remembering the look on Wayne's face when he dismissed my little wedding planning project as a waste of time. If he knew how many kilowatt hours we were burning through down here, how many thousands in untraceable currency we were generating. Send me the installation schedule, I say, standing to stretch. My shoulders crack, and I realize I've been hunched over the monitors for hours. I want to be here when they work. Control freak. Celeste's tone is affectionate. You should get some sleep. Big day tomorrow. Soon. I walk back through the server racks, trailing my hand along their warm surfaces. The hum follows me, a constant reminder of power building, of patience rewarded. I just need a few more minutes down here. With your babies? She grins, gathering her things. Don't stay too long. Even revenge masterminds need rest. After she leaves, I stand in the center of my hidden kingdom, letting the vibrations fill me. Somewhere above, my father is probably sitting in his leather chair, surrounded by the trappings of old money and fading glory. He thinks he's teaching me a lesson about family loyalty, about knowing my place. But down here, in the dark and the hum, I'm teaching myself a different lesson. About patience, about power, about the quiet satisfaction of watching them underestimate me one last time. The industrial shredder whirs and grinds, turning 300 hand-calligraphed invitations into glittering confetti. Gold foil catches the fluorescent lights, making the waste bin look like it's full of metallic snow. Each invitation cost $48. I did the math while watching them die. $14,400 worth of broken promises, floating down like expensive ash. We could still elope, Leon says, his hand warm on my shoulder. His cologne, something new, sharper than his usual scent, tickles my nose. Just us, a beach somewhere, no family drama. I take another sip of my lemon water, letting the tartness match my mood. That's exactly what they'd expect. Poor little Paige, running away to lick her wounds. You're not poor anything. He pulls me closer, but I keep my spine straight. You're the strongest person I know. Lindsay feeds another stack of invitations into the shredder's hungry mouth. Her usual efficient smile has turned grim. I've already contacted all the vendors. Most of them are willing to refund the deposits, given the circumstances. Keep the deposits. The words come out sharper than I intended. All of them. Consider it a retainer for future services. She pauses, one eyebrow raised. Future services? The wedding's canceled, not dead. I set my glass down carefully, watching condensation bead on its surface. Just postponed. On my terms this time. My phone buzzes again, the 7th time in 2 hours. Dad's name flashes on the screen, then disappears into the growing list of missed calls. Wayne's texts pile up underneath. Don't be childish. Answer your phone. Dad's worried. Let them worry. I should head back to the office, Leon says reluctantly. He's been trying so hard to fix this, to understand. It would be easier if he were angry, if he blamed my family. His patience makes my own bitterness taste sharper. Call me later? I nod, accepting his kiss on my cheek. His new cologne lingers after he leaves, mixing with the sterile venue air and the citrus on my tongue. Everything feels wrong, off-kilter, like a photo slightly out of focus. That's the last of them. Lindsay holds up an intact invitation, the one I asked her to save. The elegant script catches the light. Please join us in celebrating the union of Paige and Leon. Burn it, I say. She blinks. I thought you wanted to keep one. For memories? Some memories deserve to burn. I take the invitation, feeling its expensive weight. The paper cost more than what my father paid his factory workers for a day's labor. Actually, I'll do it myself. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Celeste. Server's running hot. Need your sign-off on the cooling upgrade. That, at least, I can control. I have to go check on something downstairs, I tell Lindsay. Can you finish up here? Of course. She hesitates, then adds, For what it's worth, I think you're handling this amazingly well. I almost laugh. If she knew what hummed beneath her feet, how many thousands in crypto I'd made while standing here watching invitations turn to dust. I'm handling it exactly how I need to. The walk to the basement feels longer today. Each step takes me further from the person they all think I am. The bride-to-be, the dutiful daughter, the woman who needs saving from her own choices. My phone keeps buzzing. Dad, Wayne, Leon, their concerns and demands piling up like the shredded invitations upstairs. Before I punch in the security code, I take out the saved invitation. The gold foil catches the harsh light one last time as I tear it slowly, deliberately into pieces. They flutter to the ground like broken promises, like the last fragments of the life my family thought they could control. I leave the pieces there, a breadcrumb trail of destruction leading nowhere. Let the cleaning crew sweep them up. Let them disappear like all the other evidence of what should have been. I have other plans now, other promises to keep. Ones written not in gold foil and expensive paper, but in digital currency and carefully cultivated revenge. My phone buzzes again. This time I turn it off completely before descending into the familiar hum of my real kingdom. Some calls don't deserve to be answered. Some messages are better left unread. Sometimes silence is the sharpest response of all. The coffee shop's exposed brick walls can't mask the desperation in Wayne's voice, carrying from the back patio through the open window. I adjust my position, pretending to study the menu while my brother's words drift in with the autumn breeze. We need more time. Yes, I understand the terms, but the familiar click of his lighter punctuates his pause. He's probably on his fourth cigarette by now. Just give us until the end of the quarter. Celeste kicks my ankle under the table. Focus, she whispers. He's here. The potential buyer slides into the seat across from us, his cologne heavy enough to drown out the coffee shop's artisanal roasts. His handshake is warm and slightly damp, leaving my palm sticky. Ladies, he says, voice pitched low like we're conducting a drug deal. Shall we discuss numbers? Through the window, Wayne's voice rises. That facility has been in our family for 3 generations. I tune him out, focusing on the man across from me. We can process the transaction today, I say. The full amount, as discussed. His eyes flick between Celeste and me, probably wondering which of us is really in charge. They always do that, looking for the man behind the curtain, unable to believe 2 women could run an operation this size. It's a significant sum, he says, dabbing his forehead with a monogrammed handkerchief. I'll need certain assurances. Celeste slides a tablet across the table, displaying our verification protocols. Outside, Wayne's lighter clicks again. The sound mirrors the tapping of my fingernail against my coffee cup, a nervous tell I've cultivated specifically for meetings like this. Let them think I'm anxious, amateur. Everything's documented, I say, letting a slight tremor enter my voice. We can walk you through the verification process step by... A courier appears at our table, interrupting with a crisp, "Excuse me?" He holds out a tablet. Signature required. We're in a meeting, Celeste starts, but I recognize the courier company, the same one Dad uses for sensitive documents. It's fine. I scrawl my signature, accepting the thick manila envelope. The label shows it's been redirected from Dad's office. Probably another wedding vendor refund he's trying to force on me. The buyer clears his throat. Perhaps we should reschedule? No need. I tuck the envelope away. You were asking about assurances? We spend the next 20 minutes walking him through the process. My attention split between his questions and Wayne's increasingly agitated phone conversation. By the time we shake hands again, his palm somehow even stickier than before, Wayne has gone silent. He'll transfer the funds tonight, Celeste says as the buyer leaves. Another fish landed. I'm already opening the envelope, curious what Dad's trying to push on me now. Inside isn't a refund check or legal notice, but a single plastic card. It looks like a blood donor card, yellowed with age, a barcode stark against its surface. A faint chemical smell clings to it, like old hospital corridors. What's that? Celeste leans in. The card is sticky to touch, like it's been preserved in something. The name field is blank, but there's a series of numbers below the barcode that tickle something in my memory. Wayne's voice suddenly comes from right behind us. Where did you get that? I turn slowly. My brother's face is pale, cigarette still burning between his fingers. He's staring at the card like it's a live snake. It was delivered to Dad's office, I say. Redirected to me by mistake. He reaches for it, but I slide it back into the envelope. For a moment, something ugly flashes across his face, something that looks almost like fear. That belongs to Dad, he says, his voice tight. Corporate matters. Nothing to do with you. Really? I stand, gathering my things, because it seems like a lot of things that belong to Dad are falling apart lately. His lighter clicks again, flame dancing despite the unlit cigarette in his hand. Don't push this, Paige. Some things should stay buried. I meet his eyes, seeing the shadows under them, the slight tremor in his hands. Like the family factory? Or just the family secrets? He doesn't answer, but his silence speaks volumes. I leave him there, the envelope heavy in my bag, that chemical smell lingering on my fingers. Behind me, I hear the final click of his lighter, followed by a whispered curse. Whatever this card is, whatever secret it represents, I've finally found something that scares my brother. And scared men make mistakes. The barcode scanner chirps in the basement's humid air, its red beam cutting through the perpetual twilight of the server room. I've been staring at this yellowed card for hours, that chemical smell still clinging to my fingers, before finally deciding to scan it. "You sure about this?" Celeste asks, her face lit blue by the monitors. "Could be nothing. You didn't see Wayne's face." I position the card again. He looked scared. The scanner beeps sharply, the sound echoing off concrete walls. For a moment, nothing happens. Then the center screen fills with text, official letterheads materializing like ghosts. Military contracts. Celeste leans closer. Why would a blood donor card link to... Her voice trails off as we read. Words jump out from the dense text. Classified, experimental, human trials. My father's name appears repeatedly, alongside redacted blocks and serial numbers that match the card's sequence. "These dates," I murmur, scrolling through documents. This was all happening while the factory was supposedly making industrial equipment. My hands are sweating now, leaving damp marks on the keyboard. The air feels colder, despite the heat from the servers. Each new file reveals another layer of deception. Shell companies, offshore accounts, medical records with more black bars than text. "Look at this." Celeste points to a financial summary. "These payment amounts, they're exactly when your dad started expanding the factory. The whole family empire was built on military black ops money." My throat tightens. I remember touring the factory as a child, proud of our family's legacy of honest manufacturing. Dad's voice echoes in my memory. "We build real things here, sweetheart. No shortcuts, no schemes." Another file opens, this one containing photographs. Clinical images of medical equipment I don't recognize, of rooms that look nothing like our public factory floor. The timestamps match the company's golden years. When Wayne and I were teenagers, when Dad was winning business leadership awards. "Holy shit," Celeste whispers. "These test protocols. This isn't just criminal. It's evil." The word tastes bitter. They were using the factory as cover for military experiments. Human experiments. My fingers fly across the keyboard, following digital breadcrumbs. Recent files show mounting pressure, military oversight tightening. The last entry is dated 3 months ago, right when Dad started talking about temporary financial difficulties. "The Malaysian deal that fell through," I say slowly. "It wasn't a real deal at all, was it? Something went wrong with their secret operations. And now they're desperate to cover it up." Celeste snaps her ever-present gum, the cinnamon scent grounding me. "Question is, who sent you this card? And why now?" The scanner beeps again. An error message. The card's barcode has degraded slightly, its edges sticky with that preservative chemical. Someone kept this evidence hidden for years, waiting for the right moment. Wayne's phone call today, I remember. He wasn't begging for a loan extension. He was talking to someone about a facility, about keeping something quiet. My phone buzzes. Dad's office number. Again. The screen's glow feels accusatory now, like it knows what I've discovered. I let it ring. "We should copy everything," Celeste says, already typing commands. Before they realize the card is missing, my revenge plans suddenly feel small, childish. I wanted to hurt them financially, to prove I wasn't their porcelain doll. But this is bigger than family drama. This is decades of lies, of hidden crimes, of God knows how many lives affected by whatever happened in those secret rooms. "Send it all to secure storage," I tell Celeste. "Encrypted, offline backups, multiple locations." "Already on it." Her fingers dance across keys. "But Paige, what are you going to do with this?" The server room hums around us, my little empire of digital currency feeling simultaneously more important and more insignificant than ever. All this time, I thought I was building something secret under their noses. Turns out, hiding secrets is the family business after all. First, I say, watching the files duplicate across our secure network, I'm going to find out who sent this card. Then, I let the sentence hang. The truth is, I don't know what comes next. My carefully planned revenge has transformed into something darker, more dangerous. The military doesn't like its secrets exposed. And my father has clearly gone to great lengths to bury his. The phone buzzes again. This time it's Wayne. I silence it, watching the progress bar crawl across the screen, each percentage point another nail in my family's true legacy. The security camera feed shows them standing at the warehouse entrance. Dad in his tailored suit, Wayne chain-smoking beside him. They look smaller on the screen, diminished somehow. I let them wait 5 full minutes before buzzing them in. The place still smells like a circuit board, Wayne mutters as they enter, wrinkling his nose at the artificial vanilla air freshener Lindsay installed. It's doing a poor job of masking the electronic tang from below. Paige. Dad's voice carries that familiar note of authority. But there's something else underneath now. Something almost like fear. We need to talk. I lean against a support beam, arms crossed. About the wedding? Little late for that discussion. About the family. He glances around the empty warehouse, eyes lingering on the industrial-grade electrical panels. About our legacy. Wayne lights another cigarette with trembling fingers. The flame catches his face oddly, highlighting the dark circles under his eyes. We know you've been successful with your little projects. Little projects? I let the words hang there, sharp and mocking. Is that what we're calling them? Don't be difficult. Dad steps closer, his expensive shoes echoing on concrete. The company needs an injection of capital. Immediately. We're prepared to offer you a seat on the board, full voting rights. In exchange for what? The power thrums beneath our feet, a constant reminder of my real strength. My crypto holdings? They exchange glances. Wayne's cigarette trembles slightly as he takes another drag. We've seen your transaction records, Dad says carefully. The amounts you're moving? It could save everything we've built. Everything you've built. I push away from the beam, moving toward them. Tell me, Dad, exactly what did you build? Besides lies? His face pales slightly. Behind him, Wayne's lighter clicks rhythmically, an anxious tell. I don't know what you think you know, Dad starts, but I cut him off. I know enough. I pull the blood donor card from my pocket, watching their reactions. Wayne actually steps backward. Dad's hands clench into fists. Interesting response to a simple medical record. Where did you get that? Dad's voice has lost its authority entirely now. Same place I got these. I hold up my phone, displaying one of the military documents. Want to tell me about the secret labs? The human trials? All those things you built while telling me not to worry my pretty little head about business? The vanilla air freshener suddenly seems cloying, suffocating. Wayne's cigarette burns forgotten between his fingers. You don't understand, Dad says hoarsely. We had contracts, obligations that are coming due. I scroll through more documents. Is that why you're here? Because whatever you did is finally catching up with you? We need $3 million, Wayne blurts out, just for a few months, until we can resolve certain issues. I laugh, the sound echoing harshly. $3 million to cover up your crimes? That's what this seat on the board offer is really about? To protect the family, Dad corrects sharply. Everything I did was to protect this family. No. I step closer, close enough to smell his expensive cologne mixing with Wayne's cigarette smoke. Everything you did was to protect your power, your control. Well, now I have the power and the control. Wayne stubs out his cigarette, already reaching for another. What do you want? The question hangs in the air, heavy with possibility. Below us, my servers hum their million-dollar symphony. Above us, dust motes dance in the harsh fluorescent lights, each one carrying a fragment of their shattered authority. I want everything, I say simply. The company, the factory, full control, no oversight. You both step down, quietly and completely. That's impossible, Dad starts, but Wayne grabs his arm. How long? Wayne asks. How long have you known about the records? Long enough to make copies. Lots of copies, stored very, very safely. I smile, watching the implications sink in. You have 24 hours to decide. After that, well, I'm sure the military would love to know where all their secret funding went. They leave without another word. Dad's shoulders bent like he's carrying a physical weight. I watch them go on the security feed, these once mighty men shuffling to their luxury cars like scolded schoolboys. The vanilla scent still hangs in the air, artificial and wrong, like their empire, like their authority, like every lie they've told. I send a quick text to Celeste. They took the bait. Get ready. The real game is just beginning. The warehouse atrium bathes in amber light, transformed by Lindsay's vision and my server's waste heat rising through carefully concealed vents. White roses climb industrial beams, their perfume fighting a losing battle against the metallic tang that's become my signature scent. You're sure about the timing? Celeste adjusts my veil, her reflection joining mine in the makeshift bridal suite's mirror. We could wait until after the ceremony. I check my phone one last time. The encrypted files sit in the journalist's inbox, set to auto-decrypt in exactly 47 minutes. The vows should start right as the story breaks. Diabolical. She grins, smoothing invisible wrinkles from my dress. And very you. Through the door, I hear guests arriving. Dad's booming laugh carries above the crowd. Forced, theatrical, like everything else about him. He'd been suspiciously agreeable about rescheduling the wedding, probably thinking he could still manipulate me into that $3 million loan. Your father's asking for you. Lindsay pokes her head in. Traditional walk down the aisle and all that. Perfect. I stand, letting the dress settle around me. Its clean lines and modern cut are nothing like the princess gown Dad wanted. But then, I'm nothing like the princess he wanted either. He waits by the entrance, looking distinguished in his tuxedo. No one would guess he's been stress smoking with Wayne behind the building, but I can smell the tobacco beneath his cologne. You look beautiful, sweetheart. He offers his arm. Every bit the bride I always imagined. I check my watch. 39 minutes. Thank you, Dad, for everything you've taught me. The string quartet begins playing. We process down the aisle, past rows of guests who have no idea they're sitting above a crypto mining operation, no idea that the pleasant warmth in the room comes from servers processing millions in untraceable currency. Leon waits at the altar, handsome and earnest. He smiles at me with such pure joy that I almost feel guilty. Almost. But he'll understand eventually, about the servers, about the secrets, about why this all had to happen exactly this way. The officiant begins. I speak my responses clearly, watching the minutes tick by. Dad stands proudly in the front row, Wayne beside him checking his phone with increasing frequency. They think they've won, think they've contained their secrets and kept their power. 23 minutes. The officiant talks about truth, about trust, about futures built on strong foundations. Wayne's phone vibrates. He glances at it, then goes very still. 12 minutes. If anyone knows any reason why these two should not be joined. Dad's phone buzzes, then more phones, spreading through the crowd like digital wildfire. The first gasps start. Wayne grabs Dad's arm, whispering urgently, "The rings, please?" Leon slides the band onto my finger just as Dad's face goes from confused to ashen. The military contracts, the human trials, the offshore accounts, all of it spreading across news sites and social media in real time. I do, I say clearly, watching my father's world collapse in the background. His phone buzzes continuously now, each vibration another nail in his coffin. The officiant barely finishes pronouncing us married before Dad stumbles toward me, his face twisted with rage and fear. What have you done? I learned from the best. I keep my voice low, my smile bright for the confused guests. About secrets, about power, about family loyalty. Wayne's already running for the exit, phone pressed to his ear. Through the windows, I see cars pulling up. Probably reporters, maybe federal agents. The story's spreading faster than even I expected. You've destroyed everything, Dad hisses. No. I turn to accept congratulations from approaching guests, playing the happy bride perfectly. I've just redistributed the power, like you taught me. Leon squeezes my hand, sensing tension but misreading its source. Above us, the golden lights flicker briefly as my servers process another massive crypto transaction. My wedding gift to myself, transferring the last of my holdings to untraceable accounts. The atrium fills with confused murmurs as more guests see the breaking news. Dad stands frozen, watching his empire crumble through dozens of glowing screens. The metallic scent seems stronger now, or maybe that's just the taste of victory in the air. I smile, accepting hugs and congratulations while my family's secrets explode across the internet. The warmth from below feels like applause, like validation, like the end of being anyone's porcelain doll. Shall we cut the cake? I ask brightly, as federal vehicles pull up outside. Dawn creeps through the warehouse windows, painting everything in muted gold. The servers below have finally gone quiet. Their last task complete, their heat signature fading like a fever breaking. My phone buzzes for the 100th time. Wayne again, his messages increasingly incoherent. I lick frosting from my fingers, the vanilla sweetness almost cloying now. The wedding cake had been perfect, right up until federal agents started interviewing guests. Leon had handled it better than expected, especially after Celeste explained about the crypto operation. You're either a genius or crazy, he'd said, and I'm betting on genius. Another message. Dad this time. Please, sweetheart, we can fix this. Family means something. Yes, it does. Just not what he thought it meant. Lindsay appears with a garment bag, my going-away outfit inside. Car's ready whenever you are, though there are still reporters out front. Let them wait. I scroll through the morning's headlines. Military contractor scandal rocks industry. Human trial cover-up exposed. Family empire falls. Decades of deception revealed. The venue feels different without the constant electronic hum I'd grown so accustomed to. Birds chirp outside, their morning songs replacing the mechanical symphony. Somewhere in the distance, metal ticks and pings as it cools. The last exhale of my digital empire. My phone lights up with Wayne's face, his 7th call in an hour. I let it ring, watching the screen until it goes dark again. The frosting on my fingers leaves sticky prints on the glass. The feds took Dad's passport, Celeste reports, appearing with coffee. Wayne's too. They're not going anywhere. Good. I accept the cup, breathing in its bitter warmth. It helps cut through the lingering sweetness of cake and victory. And the accounts? Frozen. All except the ones they never knew about. She grins. Amazing how many financial records were stored on those servers before we shut them down. The first hints of sunrise paint the eastern windows pink and gold. This time yesterday, I was watching my father pace these floors, practicing his father of the bride speech. Now he's probably pacing an interrogation room, trying to explain decades of military contracts and hidden labs. My phone vibrates again. A text from Dad. I did everything for you, for our name. Please. Celeste reads over my shoulder. You going to answer? Ever? No. I wipe my sticky fingers on a napkin, erasing the last traces of wedding cake sweetness. Some calls don't deserve answers. Through the windows, I watch the remaining reporters shuffle in the early morning light, waiting for another glimpse of the bride who brought down an empire. They don't understand yet that this was never about just revenge. It was about truth, about consequences, about breaking free from patterns built on lies. Leon's waiting, Lindsay announces. Private airstrip, just like you planned. I gather my things, taking one last look around the transformed warehouse. The flowers are already wilting in the lingering heat from below. Soon this place will be evidence, cataloged and photographed by federal investigators. They'll find the server room, trace the crypto operations, add it all to their case files. But they won't find what matters. The years of being underestimated, the careful planning, the quiet satisfaction of watching it all unfold exactly as designed. My phone buzzes one final time. Wayne. They're taking everything. Dad's having chest pains. Where are you? I power off the phone and drop it into a trash bin. Outside, the morning air hits my face, fresh and clean, despite the metallic undertone that still clings to the building. Birds scatter from nearby trees, their wings catching the sunrise. Ready? Leon holds out his hand, his wedding ring catching the light. Almost. I turn back for one last look at the warehouse. Through the windows, I can see the empty atrium where I said my vows, where I watched my father's face change as his secrets spilled across the internet, where I finally stopped being anyone's porcelain doll. The building seems to exhale, metal and concrete settling into silence. Somewhere inside, the last servers tick as they cool, like a countdown reaching zero, like a final heartbeat, like the end of one story and the beginning of another. Now I'm ready, I say, taking Leon's hand. We walk toward the waiting car, leaving behind the sweet metallic air, the desperate messages, the empire built on lies. The morning smells like freedom and scorched earth, like victory and vanilla frosting, like truth finally rising to the surface. Behind us, the birds resume their song, drowning out the last echoes of everything I've burned to ash.